Welcome to the Apex, everyone. I'm your host, Zell, and of course, we've got news with an edge. And we're starting out with our blog and print news this week. And from KnifeNews, we have Real Steel, expanding their S series, and they're planning upgrades to the budget line. That's always a good thing. And we have Leatherman documents. I goofed that all up. Anyhow, Leatherman has put together a documentary on YouTube that kind of explains where the company came from and how it came to be and all the hardships and all the cool stuff that happened as Leatherman was becoming what we know today. And KnifeNews will get you all the links to that. Pretty cool. I don't know if it's as good as the K-Bar stuff was, but you'll have to go check it out and see. And We Knife Company launches Civivi. Alright, Civivi is here, guys. We'll talk about it here in just a minute. And then in video, see, I told you we'd talk about it. First off, right here on the Zelrick YouTube channel, we had the Rike M2. And I put that up as highlighted content. I don't usually highlight my own content, but it's come to my attention that apparently as of today, I'm the only non-Rike employee in the United States that has an M2. So, and I didn't know that till a few days ago. So, I thought you guys might want to see the knife because there's a pre-order up over it, and it's a good knife. You'll have to watch the video to find out. And then we have what was inside the We Knife Company double Helix. That is the slide lock that's become kind of controversial. It's got this feature where it locks closed as well as open. And there's a whole bunch of people who want a thumb stud. Well, the thumb stud is pointless on the knife because it locks closed. It has a slide style lock, so ball lock, axis lock type mechanism to get your lock unlocked. So you got to use both fingers. So, you know, I don't know if a thumb stud do you much good. However, from what I understand, in the future, there will be We knives that do not specifically lock closed. They will still hold themselves closed better than many knives out there, but they will allow you to have a thumb stud, a blade hole, heck, maybe even a flipper, who knows. And then where do we go from there? The We Knife Company Caliber. Now that is, well, that's one you just need to go watch the video on. It took me 3 videos before I was satisfied with that. And what I mean by that is, knife came in, I messed with it some, went to do a first look video. I was not happy with the video or the knife. So I set it aside for a few days, and I usually don't have to do that on first look video. First look video, you can generally get an idea of what the knife is for and how it works, and I can get some information out to you guys in a hurry. Well, not this guy. A few days later, I had used it up in the shop and carried it for a couple days, and I tried again. And I wasn't happy with that video. So somehow that thing ended up in my pocket a few days later whenever I ended up using a knife a lot that day for doing all kinds of things. And then the knife kind of coalesced and came together as to what it was for. And that's the video you guys get because I deleted those other 2. Now, they were, yeah, anyhow. And then we go to the Civivi stuff. If you do not know about Civivi, that is a sub-brand from We Knife Company. And it's going to be Civivi gear. From what I understand, they're going to be bringing us stuff other than knives, which is actually pretty cool. I know about at least one product that they have in the works that's going to make a lot of you very happy. I know it's going to make me very happy. And I have suspicions on some more products that will be coming through the Civivi gear brand. And it's kind of like this. Your We Knife stuff is going to be over here. Your We Knife stuff are your high-end knives, your really cool knives, you know, your Tai Shis, your Zetas, your Roxys. And then down on the Civivi end, we're going to be making knives that, they are going to be, I ain't making none of the Civivi knives. Civivi's going to be making knives that are much more affordable. They talk about some Chinese D2 and some VG10, and I really hope that they're still listening to all of us over here and they skip on the VG10, because I would rather see, from my initial reports on this 9CR18 that they're using, I would rather see that than VG10. And hopefully they stick with that. We'll see where it goes. But what I did is they got those knives to me late last week, and I didn't know to begin with actually if I was going to get them or not. So I had a couple of the prototypes from Blade Show, did a video real quick, kind of an overview talking about the knives, how we's putting them together, why they're putting them together, how they can get them to cost what they do. And that is the, where's it at here? Civivi from We Knife Company, first look. That's that video. And then the day that video went live, the knives showed up from We Knife Company. So I have messed with 2 of them already. So I got together and I got first looks out for you guys so that you will be able to have a little more information about the knives before they go live at your dealer, probably Monday or Tuesday from the information I have. So by Tuesday, you'll not only have, on this channel, you'll not only have breakdown of the knives as far as, you know, first look type stuff and materials and all that, but over the weekend you should have, or you will have, a what's inside video for disassembly and maintenance of all 3 of the initial Civivi knives. And they're only releasing 2 of them right now, unless I misread something, so there may be one that lags by a week or 2. But anyhow, check over at Blade HQ or Knife Center. One of the 2 of them had pre-orders up for the Civivi knives. But hopefully that'll get you enough information that you can make some informed decisions about which one you may want, or whether you even want to deal with Civivi or not. I think it's going to be a good thing for the community to, once again, from a knife company that's putting together knives really well, to have a less expensive line. And Civivi is so far doing it right. They're giving you a nice little zipper pouch. They're giving you a cleaning cloth. They're treating you like you're buying a fine knife. They're not just sticking it in a cardboard box in a little plastic baggie. So, you know, they're treating you better than some of those really fancy knives like Strider and Denver, and, well, you know what I mean. Anyhow, moving on along, getting off of the Zelrick YouTube channel. There's plenty of Civivi stuff there. You click on that down in the description or over on the apexnews.com. You'll get to all of these links, and the best are always over at the apexnews.com, of course, because I can do some things over there I can't do in the description here. And moving on along, we have Stazza23, who was also very busy this week. This week he has the Medford production Praetorian. You know, we had that one last week, and it's actually a really cool knife. I was terribly, I'm not going to say impressed, but I was a lot more interested in the Medford knives after dealing with that knife, because it was actually a very pleasant experience. Now, you got to break in one of those knives, of course, but wow. Anyhow, moving on along with Nick, we've got the Anotherapy Mod Shop. Nick's been doing some cool anno work here lately, and he's going to show it off for you. And he has a CRKT RTD. That's one of the field strip knives. And Nick will fill you in on what he found out there. And he also has a video about schooling copper dice. Now, we all know copper dice, and apparently Nick thought he needed a little schooling. You have to go watch the video to find out on what. And Slicey Dicey has the Fox Suru aluminum first look. Suru, I don't know. They put these weird names on things, and then everybody pronounces them different. They even, if you go to the intro videos from the companies, sometimes they even pronounce them different. I don't remember if they did on this one or not, but whatever. It's a cool little Jasper Vonay's design that, well, just go see what Slicey's got to say about it. And he also has the Ultratec Honey Badger Med. He claims that Honey Badger does care. We all know that's a lie. And LuvThemKnives brings us the Elijah Isham Theta. That's one of those, the Kizer knife is probably one of the most EDC friendly of Elijah's knives out there. And Dr. Frunkey, he has the VDK War Admiral 2. And basically this is a War Admiral with a fuller. Have to go see what it's all about. Dr. Frunkey will let you in on it. And then Nick Shabazz has a Knife Maker's Why video. And here's what I want you to do here. Go watch Nick's video. And then I want you to ponder a little bit. I want you to think a little bit before you jump down to the comments. And then I want you to give Nick your opinion. Because I understand Nick's frustration. I really do. But I have to realize that my frustration, Nick's frustration, the other Nick's frustration, and some of the other reviewers, our frustration is from the fact that a lot of knives go across our desk. And because a lot of knives go across our desks, we get jaded. Jaded is probably not the right word, but we see the same things over and over again. We complain about the same, well, we don't complain about the same things over and over again. That's one of the things. That's something that as reviewers sometimes we don't realize. Nick has his little list, this list of bad things for knives or checklist to make a good knife. Well, whenever Nick first put that out, in fact, I understand why he did. However, I really wish he wouldn't have in many ways. And I have resisted for a long time doing something like that. Here's why. Whenever a company, not your average guy in the shop making a knife, but whenever your company makes knives, they take as much information as many of them, not all of them do this, but many of them will take in as much information as they can. And they will try to make that knife so that whenever it gets in my hands or Nick's hands or Slicey's hands or over to EDC Gear Reviews or Eugene Kwan, the knife gets a good review. And if you take all of our opinions and wrap them up in one big, matrix or whatever you want to call it, it would be very easy to take all of our gripes and all of our likes and make that matrix up and make knives that fit within the little ball that's in the center of that matrix that says this is a good knife. It makes every one of these guys happy enough, doesn't tick any of them off very much. And so give Nick your opinion on this, because I think it's actually a very important thing that he's brought up. Because, yeah, we get knife overload as reviewers. I've got half a dozen knives, no more than that, laying on my desk over there. And it's hard to give them all a fair review. So you end up, whether you have it on paper or whether you have it in your mind, you end up with a checklist much like Nick's. And just like that, was a caliber. The first time I went to do the first look on it, I went through my mental list. It didn't pass. So I was like, I set it aside because there was something that told me, yeah, it does pass. You're missing something. And it took a couple of rounds of dealing with the knife and using the knife, but it did pass. So I think these checklists that we have, whether it's you as a consumer or a reviewer or these knife companies, we need to be careful with that and not just go by it. Because if we do that, we don't ever end up with things like the double helix. We don't end up with things like the G&G Hawk stuff. We fail is what happens. So anyhow, enough about that. EDC Gear Reviews brings us the Tuya Knives NV. And we've talked about that one here, and many of the guys have talked about it. It is a cool little knife that is amazingly smooth for the price. Does have an interesting blade shape, but if it's something for you, get over there and watch the video. And EDC Gear Reviews has probably got a link over to Dave Warren's EDC so that you can pick one up. And I think there's even a discount on it right now. And Blade Banner brings us the Wee Bullet. Now that's a knife that, again, is one of those ones I had a problem with, even after carrying it for nearly a year. I had one of those from last year at Blade Show. And the cool thing that I found out while I was reviewing it, and this is another one of those things, wow, sometimes you just find it out right there, is that pocket clip is freaking awesome. You need to go watch what Blade Banter has to say about it. He will explain that pocket clip to you. And Eugene Kwan, he brings us Dash Reward reviews 86, 87, and 89. I don't know where 88 went, but it's the double Helix, the G&G Hawk, and Sergei Pacheco Orbit, and the Lion Steel SR22A. Pretty freaking cool there. And Birdshot IV, they bring us the budget, kinda. Ferrum Forge is here. It's the Fortis 2.0. Now, I do know now, and I have been told, I have not been confirmed, but these are made by We Knife Company, and they are the Fortis models updated from what they used to make there in their own shop. And the thing here is, from what I understand, is they are using these models to get more Ferrum Forge knife designs out there and allow them time to do basically more interesting things like pimping them out, trying new stuff. And guys, really, as knife makers, that's what you want to be doing, because you know you could make the same knife over and over and over and over and over again, and you know, you can even set up processes and machines to help you make those knives over and over and over and over again. But as a knife maker, you're usually a bit of a creative type person, and if you're just making the same thing over and over and over and over again, you get bored with it. So I really appreciate it whenever a knife maker says, okay, we've established this design. People like this design. We're going to move this design's production over to company X. And we're going to start on some new and cool stuff or some whatever. Because then we get to see them exercise their creativity and bring us more interesting stuff than just the same knife over and over and over and over again, even if it's a great one. And anyhow, from Shortcut Reviews, we have PSA, why I love Spyderco. So, if you want to know why he loves Spyderco, you're going to have to go check out the video. And it's a short one. It's well worth the couple minutes of your time. Epic Snuggle Bunny brings us the Liang Ma Eraser. That sounds kind of menacing, or something like you'd send with a kindergartner to school with, but use Liang's knives, by the way. And Cedric and Ada Outdoors brings us the Kizer Feist Generation Who. And 7 Readies with us this week with the Sharp by Design Micro Typhoon. Micro Typhoon, that sounds like something that Stazzy23 needs to get a hold of. And closing things out this week, we have Knife Crazy with a Spyderco Para 3 Sprint Run in Rex 45. And I have failed you guys. I have not kept up on Rex 45, so I need to go find out what that is. And I'll probably start by going back and watching Knife Crazy's video again, because I think the dogs distracted me while I was watching it the first time. Anyhow, guys, you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget that the best copy of the show notes is over at theapexnews.com. Click on show notes at the top of the screen, and it will take you to a list of all the show notes for all the shows that we've done over the past few months. And you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.